So, what was your biggest challenge or frustration before we started working together?
I think for me, I'm quite a hyper independent person. So my biggest frustration for me was keeping on top of everything and just fulfilling the tasks at home and not really giving time for me to the point where I personally felt I was at a burnout stage and I was just had enough basically in terms of all aspects of life, if I'm being honest. So for me, I'd say that was the biggest frustration as a collective for that one for me.
Okay. What was it that made you choose to invest in yourself and in working with me?
Yeah. For me, I'm always a firm believer that a lot of people tend to buy houses, cars, clothes, and they don't tend to really invest in their mind. And what I've found, obviously, in the journey I've been on, is over the last few years, is if you don't invest into your well-being and your mind, you're just worse off than not having the clothes or the car or the house. So I saw it as a value for me, and that's why I wanted to do it because I was getting to a point where it was affecting my ability to show up as who I know who I normally am. That was the main thing for me, is that I seen it as a value add straight away.
Mm.
That you needed to nurture yourself and to be kind to your mind. Be kind to your
Mhm.
mind.
I like that. And what were your initial thoughts and feelings when you first started?
Well, you're the one that had to deal with me, so
I should say mine.
I know, yeah. So when I walked in, I'll be honest, I didn't have a time to deal with any type of messing around or I had a very low tolerance. So not that I didn't believe in the change or not that I didn't believe in this would be good for me. It was just at a point where I was at a no return. It might have been because I'm turning a certain age. We'll leave that quiet. It was just at a really pivotal moment for me, where I think that was the main aspect, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm, okay. And what specific sort of breakthroughs or results do you feel that you've experienced?
I was on my road to boundary setting. What I would probably say, which I think we went through, is that I was saying no. I was able to say no. I was trying to navigate that, something that I was a people pleaser. And I figured the no bit out. I just didn't deal with the emotion side of taking in the no. And I feel like the journey we went on together is that it helped me see that it wasn't serving me. So I sort of came very capable of saying no and then moving on with the next task in hand. And I think the development for me is I don't want anything that doesn't enter my life that disturbs my peace. That's big for me. Um, it's the peace part as well. So yeah, I'd say that was probably the main thing for me, is that I've walked away, having clear boundaries, understanding that yeah, I do need to share, friends, family, all that behavior. But aside from that, I took that as the most developing part for me.
And I know that there's some confidential aspects of your personal life, but in a nutshell, what sort of how's it impacted on that personal
Yeah,
side?
so I had like quite a few anomalies going on in the background with my personal life with my son and stuff. Um, what it's given me an opportunity is to take time, pause, and reflect. Although I'm still the same person, what I've realized is that I need to be, like what I said before, kinder to me. And what I wasn't really doing was acknowledging that. So as much as you go, oh yeah, you just need time for yourself, or take some time out, and these sayings, I wasn't doing that. I just was allowing the train to keep on going. And I was at a point where, although I love my son, if I don't show up as strong as I can, I'm not serving him the best possible way. And that it's okay to have a boundary with your son, with your family, with your friends. It doesn't mean, you're disliked or etc. It means that you've got a clear understanding on where you're set and what you're willing to take and not take.
Mm. Along the way where
Yeah.
I think you did something and then it was like, oh, the world didn't end. I set that
Yeah.
boundary and everyone was all right with it, which is
Yeah.
good. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And now I can't stop.
Now all the boundaries are in place.
Like,
That's good.
no, no, no.
Brilliant.
I'm
Brilliant. Was there ever a moment during the program when everything just kind of clicked for you? And what was that like?
Do you know what? If I'm being honest, I felt like through the whole program, I just progressively felt like I was finding me. But I think what helped was that I carried through with what we discussed, what I was setting. I was consistent. So I feel like for me specifically, I didn't have like a aha moment, it
Yeah.
was more kind of that the more I consistently showed up, the more my peace started to be within my life.
Mm.
And I think that was the key part for me because I was so used to kind of hitting goals with work and so forth. I'm used to working to deadlines. I'm used to operating in a way, but not to my own peace and mind. I was neglecting myself a lot.
Mm.
Um, so like that skill set, I kind of actually brought into like my personal life, which I've never really done. I've always had like business, um, and now I can differentiate that,
Yeah.
which just saves me so much better. And I'm finding Hayley more and more as the days are
Mm.
going on. You know, I'm giving time for that,
Yeah.
which
And
is
I
nice.
think one of those conversations that we had early on was work Hayley does so much.
Yeah.
I don't really know who personal Hayley is and what's going
No.
on. You've definitely kind of bridged that gap, probably, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. Because mom and daughter and friend and work colleague, and it just got so muddled that I kind of lost who I was
Mm.
through all the changes.
Mm.
But it made me relook at myself and think like, no, hold on a minute. You need to give yourself time. You need to allocate space and concentrate on what you want to see through the week,
Mm.
and what you want to achieve. And when you're having a down day, it's okay. Like it's okay to have a down day. You don't have to like stop, got to be positive. Yes, you've got to get to a point where, what can I do to move forward or what can I do to like change that? And what you're not changing, you're choosing, aren't you? But it's also okay to just have that day. Like I'm not used to being messy, I'm
Mm.
used to having
Mm.
things in play. And I had a few messy days, been fumbling around and like, I had the emotional doors have opened a few times. Can't believe it. I don't know how you've done that to me. And it just feels good.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
awake.
yeah, well that was another thing, wasn't it? It was like you kind of came and you said, I'm just a bit numb, like I'm not
Yeah.
feeling anything. I'm just
No.
going through those motions. And then obviously that completely flipped a few times where you were able to drop that guard down a little bit, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah. I still do a little bit. I still revert, and then I have to reframe because it's years and years of
Of
years and
undoing. Mm.
yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
it's not going to be done overnight,
Yeah.
but you're going to get the tools and you've got to work through them. Anything that's worth fighting for, you keep pursuing. So why would you not do it for your mind?
exactly. And had you ever had any other coaching experiences before we
I
started
have,
working
yeah,
together?
I have. I had it prior to me be personal life changing. So I didn't know, I can't remember off the top of my head what I was going to go through, but I could remember like accountability and responsibility and all stuff like that.
Mm. And how does this differ? Was it similar? Did you find that you got what you needed from it? Or,
I'd say the pathway is similar in terms of how you as a life coach operates the same. I think what stood out for me is your character and how warming you are and how trusting um, and relatable.
mm,
You're quite a personable person as well, and I felt connected through the journey. So I think even though obviously you have a life coach model, you can adapt slightly, can't you? I
mm,
think the way you can believe in your services really for me is who you are as a person. And I said that from the very beginning for me. I'm a type of person, even though sometimes I have to dig a bit deeper into the emotion, is I have to feel connected to the person and I also have to believe in the direction of the person. And I feel like those two elements, you exceeded them for me.
well, that's good. But it takes two to tango, as they say, and you've put on all that hard work and done so, so well. And had to have a real huge kind of level of resilience for some of the things that you've gone through. So, all credit to you.
Ah,
You have really done well. Um,
thanks.
yeah,
Don't I get emotional?
I just want to break you down on camera. Um, no, and then the final question is, what would you say to somebody who's kind of sitting on the fence about coaching?
Oh, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'll answer that in two parts.
Okay.
One, I feel like if I was to say and convince to come on board, I could do that all day long.
Mhm.
Only you can figure out what's right for you, firstly, right?
Yeah.
If it's a no in your head or a maybe or a don't know, then that's something that you need to obviously make sure that you feel comfortable and confident in your person, and
Hmm.
maybe sit and talk to the likes of yourself in terms of your direction and your need. Have a good consultation and
Hmm.
say, like, this is what I want help with.
Hmm.
Me looking back and now moving forward, and going through your journey, what I would say is that it's changed my life for the better. So now that I am like post life coaching, I would say that I've never looked back. I've
Hmm.
grown into a person that I didn't think I would get here. And sometimes it's not a bad thing that you do need a little bit of help nowadays. And one thing that I feel that is really good is sometimes you need it from outside, outside perspective, an unbiased environment,
Yeah.
and that I'll boil back down to the fact that you need to be kind to your mind. And
Yeah.
if you're willing to, get a nice takeaway, or you're willing to buy X amount of shoes or bags, why you're not willing to pay for your mind? Because
Mm.
this is your vessel. If you want to get to where you want to go, and my new goal is live 1,000,000 hours. I looked
Love
it
it.
up.
I
Apparently
love
it's 100. Yeah, it's quite a fair distance. So for me to get to my goal,
it.
you've got to invest.
Yeah.
And
It's
I would
funny, isn't
say,
it? Because you think about that, you think, I'm all over the design handbags and the material things at times, but ultimately, if you're all right up here, you can walk around with a Primark bag and feel absolutely incredible. It just
1,000%.
mm,
And people are going to feel, I mean, a good example is the way me and you connected was I followed, shout out to Dan, I followed Dan for years and years and years and years.
yeah.
And I watched multiple feature snapshots of her on the social media platform.
Mm,
And one day something just happened and I messaged Dan and I
Yeah.
went in on the intention of maybe going down one route
Yeah.
and I was led to a different one and I've
Mm,
never looked back.
mm,
So that kind of boils down to never be afraid to go and seek help
mm.
when you're at your saddest, your lowest, your most confused,
Yeah.
because it can lead you to a completely different outcome,
Mm,
you
absolutely.
know.
And that's what we want to do. That's linking to the gym, which is Mind Body Booty Empire. Is it is supposed to be that safe space for all women to
Yeah.
just connect, to have a community, to feel confident, to be working out, to be working on the mind. It is, and that's what we strive to do. So it's good that that message is getting out there, and I know Dan will appreciate that as well.
Exactly, because that's why I just wanted to make that clear that at any point, you know, you the empire could have took me down a working out route or an online profile,
Mm,
and that's where I believed in the message that you all are setting,
mm,
because she didn't. Dan
mm,
directed me to you,
mm.
you know,
Yeah.
and opened me up into a community that you're part of, which in turn has completely helped me change my whole life.
Mm, mm. And
You
that's
know,
that's sort of the triage, if you like, service that we kind of try and know
yeah,
that's what she's doing, which is great. And if even if you'd have chosen PT, there might have been elements that you'd have got out of
yeah,
that
yeah,
served you
yeah,
really well. It just depends what you're kind of going down.
yeah,
But that's why I kind of go down the route of the mind PT, because it effectively you're just giving your mind a workout. You're saying, well, why are you thinking those things? Why are you saying these stories to yourself? And
yeah,
that makes that difference, doesn't it? But it's
yeah,
been an absolute pleasure working with you. I've absolutely loved seeing you just blossom, because it
yeah,
really feels that that's what you've done, and it just makes my job incredible. Like it's so um it's just lovely to see. It
yeah,
really is, and know that that's impacted a lot on your family life, which
yeah.
is really important, and particularly for you yourself. So well done, you.
Ah, thanks, Nick. I'm not gonna cry. I've done too much of it.
No, it's been really good, and I appreciate your time today.
That's
Maybe
all
helping
right.
somebody else out.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.